Welcome to class, everyone. Today is going to be a draft day. We're going to continue working on your memoirs and profiles. If you look at slide number 2, you can see, however, we're going to cover 2 additional things before you spend the rest of class working on your draft. So the first one will be an article from our foundational readings in the Slick Open English Classroom textbook. This one deals with punctuation. Troy says that we use punctuation for stylistic purposes in our writing. In class, we're going to cover any punctuation mark that you don't understand well and make sure that I can help you that way. But with each section of the article, it's quite long. You're going to find a couple of statements that Nikki Mantilla wrote that you want to remember in your own note or online notebook. So record them. At the very end, there are also a couple of other articles. One article is entitled "When Your Punctuation Says It All." It's from the New York Times. I'd like you also to open that and record 2 additional statements from the article dealing with punctuation and its importance in clarifying meaning for a reader. In class today, one of the things we are going to do is just review what you need for your memoir layout. You will have to have a story. I will grade your title. You will either need a subtitle, kicker, or both. You will need at least 1 photo with a caption. We will talk about captions on Monday. You can have more than 1 photo, however. You need a dropped letter and or a pulled quote. And you need a byline, which is a fancy term for your name. Another thing you can do on here is to create a sidebar. So this is an example of a lot of the terms that I just went over for you to look at. And of course, there's not a lot of content here, but it does review what is a byline and different things like that. I've included on here a link to 4 different websites that review or go over design elements with you, since this is not a design class. In class today, we are going to pick one and watch it and learn something new. I think, if I remember right, these layouts or these videos use InDesign rather than Google Docs, so it might have you use or refer to you a certain way, but you can just think of the concepts. This slide is important. This slide will help you set up a Google slide for a double-page spread. As you are thinking about resources that you have, if you are familiar with InDesign, I would certainly use it. InDesign is the program that is for magazine design. If you do not have that expensive software program, however, you can use a Google slide. So we walked through it in class, and I'm just going to briefly cover it right now for those of you who are not with us today. So when you go to Google Slides, you're going to pick a blank slide. And the first thing you will do is name your presentation, whatever you want to call it. You will pick a theme, pick the white theme, then you are dealing with your choices rather than somebody else's choices. Then to set up the size, you need to go to File, Page Setup, and click on the Custom box. And in the box, you need to change the numbers to the numbers that I put here for a double page spread, 16.74 by 10.78. And then once that's set up, you need pictures and text boxes and can add shapes to create your layout. When you are also on this slide, I've included a couple of tutorials for those of you who need some extra review to get those set up. The they walk through everything, how to put a text box in, how to put a picture in, how to put a caption. And the products are really ugly to look at, but at least you will learn some important skills of how to set your document up that you can create something that looks a lot better than his. On this one, just remember when you are setting up your document, you need to think, I've got to have layouts, I've got to have a main image somewhere on the page, I need to have a headline. Where are you going to put them so that everything has its own place? If you think columns, remember when we did the sample ones in class, we folded papers into 4 columns for each page of the double page spread. Of course, you're not going to be folding yours, but in your mind think, how many columns do I want to have? Technically, the more columns, the more options you have. Just remember, you don't want skinny text boxes, or thin text boxes. So make sure that I would not go over 4 columns per slide. 3 or 4 would work well. And finally, we are coming up to the end of the quarter. Remember, this is not you do not get a grade in English 2010 at the end of the quarter. However, I won't be grading anything from third quarter after third quarter. So these are some deadlines that are coming up. Today, of course, you need to upload your notebook number 3. On Monday, the 22nd, be ready for class with a really good draft to get some good feedback from your peers. If your draft is about 500 words, you will receive 20 points out of 30 points. If you have close to 1,000, you will receive all 30 points for a draft. On March 22nd, which is Monday, again, you will finish your last learning log article, which will give you 8, and that will need to be uploaded to your ePortfolio by the end of the day. On March 24th, which is a week from Wednesday, you will upload your final draft in an MLA version to turn it in. Remember, you will earn up to 100 points. Refer to your rubric to see how you will be graded. And then finally, the last thing, the following day, you will need to upload your Google slide to your website with your pictures and all of those fun things on it. So that's worth 50 points. And on that one, we'll talk a little bit in class if things don't fit, what to do. But I will be grading your captions, your titles, your layout design, your use of colors, your use of typography, things like that. So make wise choices when you pick those. And that's all for today. So in class, I will be turning the time over to everyone to work on anything that we've talked about, finishing up Unit 2. Thank you.